I'm a developer, both residential and commercial. I'm also a property investor. So someone like Saul is important to have links with, whether finding a tenant, finding a premise, looking at an opportunity. So I'm just trying to think. The first appointment with Saul was to find a tenant to a newly completed mixed-use scheme that we'd developed, and looking for a commercial tenant to occupy the ground floor. That was, I think it's about 15 years ago. The recent thing was a rent review that I instructed him to do for me as landlord, and that's what he did. He acted for me in that capacity. What I liked about Saul was the fact that he is knowledgeable in multidisciplines. He's a good negotiator in agreeing heads of terms on a new lease, for example. He also knows his way around doing rent reviews, acquisitions, the market, comparables, for example. I mean, he can reel off comparables off the top of his head. He's very knowledgeable in that regard. He's a specialist, I would say, particularly in the North London postcodes. I want to know I'm getting the top advice, and yeah, I want the best knowledge and advice that there is. Okay, so what I'm looking for in an agent is he's got to know his stuff, first of all. He's got to know his market. He's got to be a good communicator, especially when he's helping me to put a deal together. Get engagement with the other side. Be able to liaise with a number of people on different levels. For example, there may be an agent appointed on the other side. The other party's solicitor. So obviously got to be able to keep the whole thing moving forward, keeping everyone engaged, being proactive, following it up. If things showing signs of stalling, which can happen, he's on it, as it were. It's very important that you're working with a professional. We're all up against time. Time is money. And if you're working with someone who's inefficient, that's no good. That's why you need someone like Saul and the team around him to minimize the downside and maximize the positives. He took on the instruction when I'd had several other agents on this property. It was proving slow to let, but once Saul was instructed, within a very short space of time, he found the tenant, an excellent tenant, as it's proved out to be. So credit to him for that. With regards to Saul's technical knowledge and experience, from what I understood, I think he did his university dissertation on North London and maybe even East Finchley in particular. I can't be certain, but I know it was North London. I don't know anyone who's specialised at that level. To talk about a property market for a university thing. So, no, I'm highly impressive, I would say. It was quite funny to watch him at work, actually. He had a headset on his head, he had a handset to his ear, and he had a loudspeaker on his desk, and he was, God knows what he was doing there, like putting a deal together with three parties, obviously, but he had them all engaged, and it was a wonder to watch. Very impressive. After knowing someone for 15 years, you get to know that individual, and what their requirements are, how they tick, what they like to see, how they work. So it's been a positive, fruitful relationship in all that time.